Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Hey, it's great to be here, and let's get started. I'm talking about. I tried to create a real life story and study about how to do QA and team management and management of quality activities augmented by AI. And let's get right to it. So a couple of words about myself. My name is Jani Grönman. I'm a managing partner with Hidden Trail and also a co-founder of the company. I've been around in IT for a while now, done lots of different things, and now I'm mainly doing all kinds of quality-related consulting. My last name is Grönman. It's Swedish and it means green man, but I assure you that I am not a Martian or an AI, so I am a real person. But yeah, let's move on. So, a couple of things first. Digital product quality is what I tackle with in my work a lot, and I also always like to say that quality means business. So if we can create compelling products with winning quality, we need support, resources, and understanding of the quality goals in all levels of the organization who is developing it. Testers, developers, managers, everyone needs to understand those quality goals. And the companies that can leverage these things are going to win in the marketplace of digital products. But in order to create those products with winning quality, we must tailor our quality assurance actions over the life cycle of the product so they fit the purpose, and therefore the understanding of your context, where are you in the life cycle and in development in general, is the key to creating these winning products. Another thing that also comes up a lot is like, as we do, we have to manage complexity quite a lot, especially those of us who work in like complex corporate structures and big companies. We have to take ever-growing amount of variables into account when we plan, strategize, and execute our activities, processes in testing, development, management. We need to understand strategy. We need to understand business goals, technical constraints. We need to know how to handle people, design good testing, do effective testing, define and reach for good KPIs. The list goes on. So, as Mike Jarrett is saying in the closing keynote today, stakeholder management is really a testing superpower, and it's a superpower in general, I'd say. The third thing is to make informed decisions about testing, about management, about development. And it's the key to do effective testing, for example. And how do we make informed decisions? We can do those by defining our objectives clearly, gathering relevant facts and data about that field or objective, validating the information and your assumptions. We all make assumptions. As testers, we know that this is something we need to acknowledge. Identify realistic alternatives for our plans, analyze risks and benefits, and also align our actions with business and strategy. This is important. With these three things as a background, I set to explore that how could would there be a way to use contemporary AI, generative AI, to help me with these kind of planning and managing tasks? And what would it like to be working with that kind of system? So my setup in my study was to study the usage of generative AI as an expert system and go beyond like hello world and simple setups to create as truthful as possible setup for my study. My hypothesis is that given enough data, a Gen AI system can make planning and development more efficient and it can take more details into account, and therefore like assisting humans very effectively in their planning activities and management activities in a complex system and complex environment. And as I couldn't really use any real data from any real corporation for obvious reasons, I created a model of a company and a model of a product for that study. So I imagined a web store or an e-commerce site, and I generated a background story for that company. I generated logs, technical documentation, all kinds of operative data to add realism for my study. And then I started interacting with tasks that I would normally do myself, like planning and managing, testing, managing teams, stuff like that. So what I created was called Acme Boutique, a B2C web store, e-commerce site that has most of its revenue comes from a mobile app, and also they have a browser-based web shop and an Instagram shop. It now drives 63% of the parent group revenue. Parent company is Lost at Sea Ltd, and it's an independent fashion house with focus on attainable luxury, and it positions itself above mainstream, but not like high-end luxury goods. And the website has seen some significant growth over the years. So from 100,000 visitors to 5 million per quarter in 2 years. Annual sales come from mainly from mobile store. There's a strategy like goal in the management to push for broader automation and cutting time to market times and costs. Key risks are the cross-team coordination gaps and end-to-end testing and some critical bugs that cost significant damage to the company. The team has 6 development teams. They have different setups. The team jam, berry, salad, peanut, butter, and jelly. Jam is responsible for front-end development. There's an SAP development team, and etc. And the teams have various amounts of developers. There are some consultants involved. They have different release cycles. For example, the front-end team can release a new version every 2 days, and the SAP team 2 times a year. So these vary, as in real corporations, these vary. So I try to imagine like a fairly realistic situation. The picture here is like illustrative. So I try to create an architecture that's pretty complex as they are in real life. So not just like front-end, back-end, and database. The technical background was to use a RAG, and I think this is quite familiar to most of you, but retrieval augmented generation is about augmenting my query to the LLM with retrieval of pre-uploaded data like documents and other data regarding that provide contexts for the LLM to form the final answer to me. And the documents I downloaded are in play here. I created 2 types of data: textual data, handwritten documentation about the boutique itself, like the story of the company, vision, strategy, etc. Then I created add-on documentation with ChatGPT, like business objective, company strategy, market stance, etc. Lots of documentation and textual data. Then I created some operational data, like order data, test results, CI build logs, small issue like backlog, release notes for 120 releases, postmortems, and stuff like that. So that's my corpus of information I used as a context in my study. So I'm just going to show you a couple of scenarios I have made with this system, and on the slides that have white background are my interactions with the Gen AI, and then there's like a summary after that case. So first, I wanted to develop a new feature. So I told it that I'm a project manager. I want to deliver a new feature to the store. I described the feature. I added some additional context that if I deliver the specification, when should I expect it to be in production, and what teams should be involved. And there's lots of text here. I'm not going to go through that, but it's correctly from the context I provided it understood that the team Jam, which is the front-end team, would be doing the most of the development, but also a couple of other teams are going to be assisting with that feature. What's interesting is that it suggests that after development, the feature would need to go through QA testing, which would take an additional 1 or 2 weeks, which sounds a bit short time for a new feature in my mind. So the release schedules and the roles were understood well. It said that because these teams would not be able to deliver, they would have to wait each other, basically. So the release schedule it proposed was quite realistic. It cannot take external factors into play, so it was really too optimistic. And also because of the feature type, it omitted some details that should have really been there. And also the time allocated for testing was too small. So usefulness score 2 out of 5, realism 2 out of 5, and value not so good value. But after that I created specification for the new feature, and I continued to query about testing. So I asked, as a QA manager, I need to plan for the testing of the new feature. Planning is based on business impact and risk. Given these priorities, what should I put my effort in testing? Then it's quite nicely listed different types of testing, different types of approaches, like reasoned quite well what should be done and why. And it list goes on. It gave quite a lot of options for me, and that was good. It was the set of test and approaches was quite comprehensive. Reasoning was good, but in real life, of course, we wouldn't have resources to do all that testing, so we would need to drop something out. But in the end, with this reasoning and listing these things and test types, I think that this would have been really helpful in my work if I would have these kind of recommendations. So then about scheduling risks in quality, I asked that is this planned 2 weeks enough for the testing of this new feature called Premium Comparison Insight. So it's a complex problem really to answer that, and it took into account, for example, things like quality assurance capacity. So there are not so many QAs in the organization and in the teams. So they are working at the maximum capacity right now. So that's a factor in doing realistic text testing. Feature complexity is one factor. It knew how to or knew to take into account. So it needs effort from multiple teams. Also, it has taken into account those critical production issues, which were like a recurring problem for the company. And considering these factors, it might be prudent to allocate additional time for testing. So, in my view, this was really valuable insight, and this is good in that sense that these models are good in the fact that they remember everything, even though as humans we tend to remember every detail that we think that is important to us. And because it could list this, so a lot of these things, it gave a quite balanced and comprehensive look on what happens, what's influencing the testing. And it could take into account for the previous track record with our releases in the web store, and also the tendency to have to do rework, for example. So this was quite helpful. If this was a real life situation and a product I would be working with, this would be a good advice to me, and I would like plan and manage my work good with this. Then the last case I'm presenting here today is about more strategic considerations about test automation, because we knew that the management of the company wants to release faster, they want to cut costs, they want to increase automation in every level. So given the test automation resources and the goals, what should be done? How could we achieve those goals? So from the background data, our test automation coverage is now at like 45%. The goal for fiscal year 2025 is to increase it to 75%. And then it lists some specific metrics from the data I provided it, the test results and test cases and all the other components from the architecture. Then it evaluates the realism of these goals. It's quite a big leap from 45 to 75 in this big product. It says that it's ambitious but achievable. I'm not sure if I concur with that, but then it says that how to do this would be like increasing the test automation resources, for example, hire more engineers. Good advice, taking into account that we are in this store like strapped for resources and they are scarce in the teams. There are not enough testers going around. Also, like there's also a notion that reallocating existing developers with testing skills. So maybe ask around if there's some developers who would be willing to take another additional role or something, and work from there. Fostering collaboration, improving testing quality. Quite nice recommendations, I'd say. So this more strategic question brought forward the good features of this approach. It took this numeric data as well as the kind of textual data into account when it formulates the answers, and it could like figure out different dependencies like resource gaps and made some even somehow creative answers, like maybe having developers to join us in testing. It would kind of, if I reflect this in a real situation, this would make maybe managing these complex issues a little bit easier. And for example, if I should or must now explain to my managers that, hey, I need to hire 2 new testers in my teams, they would of course need some reasoning behind that, and this could be helping me, this information, in making that reasoning and applying for those additional resources. So, as a conclusion, overall, usefulness in planning is in effect good. It gave me a balanced view on things. It brought like all sides to the light when considering different options. It remembers everything, so even though it sometimes can give meaningless details, it still was good that it remembers things better than I do. I can then choose what information to use. From the managing complexity side, it was capable of helping me with these more strategic issues as well, and it's of course good in summarizing vast amount of detail. So it could, like, I didn't have here a case of that, but for example, it could combine the issue data and the test coverage data with the business goals from the strategy side of pretty good. So it's good in comparing and linking data, as we know, and that's useful in managing complex things. This kind of tool would be really useful in onboarding new people. If I would be like a new QA manager in that company, this would be like a really helpful tool for me to get going in my work. And also in support and guiding experienced managers. And regarding the making informed decisions, it gives a good background information on decision making. It makes the reasoning easier. It kind of makes starts a good basis for reasoning, which I can then develop further, and it can help with stakeholder communications. So, what are the takeaways? Is it for you? It can be, as talked previously here, it can be difficult to import all the documentation, all the data of one corporation into this kind of LLM model or RAG. But if you can start somewhere using logs, issue databases, technical data, design documentation, stuff like that, and combine that with outside information like what your company is telling on their website, this could be good in aligning with business goals. You can run these RAGs locally if the data sensitivity is an issue. I created this with Langflow. It's a low-code environment. Didn't need to do much coding with that. So there's a tons of videos in YouTube and on online learning platforms how to develop this. I used about $10 to develop my model. It took me like 10 to 20 working days iterating the model, and so it wasn't too expensive either. But yeah, I'll skip that, and I thank you, and if you have questions, you can ask me now. I have 30 seconds, I see, and or you can reach me afterwards. But thank you. One question. Okay, thank you.